and this is DI. Continue watching this video because you definitely don't want to miss out on this important stimulus check information. Action is being taken right now. Kevin McCarthy has just confirmed that a debt ceiling vote will likely happen on Tuesday, and this could save millions of Americans from huge financial changes from the federal government. Today, Kevin McCarthy announced that Congress will meet the deadline to raise the debt ceiling, acknowledging that no deal has been made by voting an agreement will be reached in time to prevent a government default. Janet Yellen raised the stakes in the marathon negotiations on Friday, when she provided the first hard deadline for when the government will be unable to pay down all of its obligations. June 5th, everybody, is a date. And asked if Congress can meet that deadline, McCarthy didn't hesitate to say yes. McCarthy vowed that he'll stick with the 72-hour rule, providing lawmakers the full 3 days to read the text of the legislation before they're asked to vote on it. McCarthy even said he's been in talks with Senate leaders about how much time they'll need to meet the June 5 deadline. And if a deal is reached tomorrow, that would set the stage for a House vote on Tuesday. McCarthy declined to name the barriers that remain as he and his deputies haggle with the White House negotiators over the last outstanding disagreements. But he said Republicans have not dropped the demand for permitting reform designed to eliminate regulatory hurdles to energy infrastructure projects. It's something Democrats have opposed for fear that it would degrade the environment at the expense of poor communities. McCarthy also confirmed that Republicans have been in discussions with Kyrsten Sinema and moderate Democrats on particular issues. The speaker outlined the rollout of any deal and saying he would make a vague announcement that would withhold the details of any agreement to allow lawmakers to read the bill before the press and public do. Still, people all over the nation are now wondering what will happen to lawmakers if their personal finances are not met. Based on Social Security Administration payment schedules, a June 5 default might actually protect beneficiaries from the potential delayed checks and direct deposits, because individuals receiving the payments are still going to receive the money, but maybe in a later date. If the Treasury Department is unable to successfully prioritize payments for Social Security, the consequences for these groups can be devastating. Beyond the initial group of payees, the Social Security Administration monthly payment calendar suggests that there is a bit more breathing room for other beneficiaries, providing that lawmakers reach a deal beforehand and the next beneficiary payments are not expected until June 14th. So, the debt default picture is also cloudy for individuals who rely on Medicare and Medicaid to pay for bills. But the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services said that these government health programs are defaulting on the national debt and would severely damage the crucial health care programs that millions of Americans rely on. And since Yellen was the first on a debt default, she said it could happen within a few days of June, and by the end of this year to claim this free stimulus credit. Free stimulus credit, folks, because if a taxpayer who's eligible to receive this check owes any money to the government, like a child support or unpaid parking tickets, well, the rebate amount will decrease. Also, everybody, President Biden and top lawmakers fanned out across the country this week to visit bridges that are said to be repaired with new infrastructure money. The president stopped at, for instance, the Brent Spence Bridge, which crosses the Ohio River, connecting Connecticut and Kentucky. The event touting an infusion of repair money going to bridges, not people. Why is it going to bridges? I have no idea, everybody. We all have to blame it on President Biden because the focus of the White House and the GOP leadership on areas of bipartisan cooperation is a marked contrast to the House Representatives, as they're still struggling to enact somebody to take charge. So what I want to say is that the infrastructure law put aside $100 billion for roads and bridges, and now rural broadband, ports, and other items are having some difficulties around us. For instance, this week's visit coincided with the announcement that approximately $2 billion of the money will be set aside for repairs in a large bridge program, which includes the Brent Spence Bridge and 3 other bills that the administration describes as some of America's most economically significant spans. Now, Kamala Harris also has visited Fort Drawbridge in the south side of Chicago near Illinois. She's talking about to repair these bridges, and Biden and other officials have also talked about lauding the importance of economic repairs for bridges in the business community. In total, the infrastructure law puts aside $40 billion for somebody to take care of this thing. Joe Biden has made several previous bridge visits during his time in office, including spans in Pennsylvania and New Hampshire, providing a visual reminder of the infrastructure money at work and with the economic consequences if despair had continued. So far, an infrastructure report card from the American Society of Civil Engineers put a spotlight on the overall problem. Of the more than 600,000 bridges in the United States, about 47,000 of them are classified as structurally deficient. The question remains, everybody, we have a lot of news to go over in today's fourth stimulus check update, so you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family. Now let's get into the very important stimulus check news. Crisis this year, folks, has brought with it financial hardship for millions of Americans, and federal governments have acted to alleviate the suffering that Americans have faced. And all this is done through the stimulus checks and the stimulus bills that were approved. Folks, in regards to the increase in your Social Security benefits, well, Senator Schumer, Warren, and Ron Wyden have unveiled a plan to increase benefits by $200 per month for all Social Security beneficiaries. The plan is set to provide more than 60 million Americans with an additional $4,000 over 2 years. It's all part of the Democrats' bold Phase 3 stimulus proposal. Yes, folks, this is great news. It looks like our Democrats in Congress are finally looking to help out our American seniors and increase the Social Security benefits. Do you support the increase in Social Security benefits, folks? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.
Now I want to provide an update on our efforts to help millions of Americans down south recover and rebuild from Hurricane Ida. We've been monitoring this hurricane closely and the devastation it's caused. To date, 6 deaths. About 1 million homes are without power in Louisiana and Mississippi. While the catastrophic flooding wasn't as severe as it was during Hurricane Katrina 16 years ago.
Now Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren, as well as Ron Wyden, have revealed a plan to increase monthly benefits of Social Security, veterans, SSI, and SSDI by $200 a month. This would improve the lives of millions of Americans and help the economy stabilize. Now, the Democratic plan, everybody, would give seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities who have earned this benefit by contributing to Social Security, with every paycheck, an additional $4,000. Bad news. The federal government has announced that the poverty rate in the United States has doubled. Democratic lawmakers are now pushing to restore the new tax credits. This would provide automatic deposits for thousands of dollars. Now, the U.S. Census Bureau released new data this week showing child poverty doubling in 2022. The supplemental poverty measure showed that child poverty rate rose from 5% to 22% in 2022. The increase in child poverty is attributed to a number of factors, including the inflation and the expiration of crisis-era relief programs. These programs helped with the widespread job loss and economic hardship, but the expiration of these crisis-era programs has contributed to decreases and increases in poverty. Even some Democratic representatives have said there is no modern policy that has been successfully expanded. Now, millions of people were lifted out of poverty, but hunger was cut by 20%. Now, families use this extra money to pay for housing, food, childcare, and so they could get to work, and other basic essentials for everyday life. Moreover, for every $1 invested, the child tax credit provided $8 in social and economic benefits. Even Representative DeLauro said that the monthly child tax credit was a huge success and the best solution to reduce child poverty. She said it is time to bring it back and provide middle-class and working-class families with the permanent economic security they deserve. Democrats in the Biden administration are at this again, trying to